Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Red Flood as Fiume. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, somebody got shot in Venice, and for reprisals for that, we decided to bomb Rome with, like, flowers and chocolate. I don't know, really, what's happening. So, deserters. The squadron flies over a grim horizon and frowns towards them in a large granite gray cloud on the oncoming storm. This time, there is no singing and no poetry. Keller does not want to subject his aviators to the wrath of a thunderstorm. Machines fly at maximum energy like athletes competing on a running track. Playfulness has been replaced by discipline and carefreeness by gloomy determination. There's another problem. This problem is approaching from the sun in the form of a flock of fast and prickly CR-32 with the royal emblem. Italy sent its late birds to intercept. Of course, none of them are equal to the pilots of the Yoga Society, but their planes are newer and they're clearly more numerous. Guido, noise on the radio. It's time for us to turn east if we want to break away from them. Let's jump over the Rimini. We have the press, but... No, Keller said angrily. We don't have enough fuel, so we're flying straight. We have to strike straight through these royal birds. Another horn of a hunting horn. Siblings, get ready to feel the razor-acute thrill of adrenaline in the blood, because we are moving towards the ultimate action. Let us take down these 40 from the noble face of heaven. This mini-speech elicited a chorus of applause, and one by one, the old MAS and Newport gathered in attacking formation, prepared to fall on their opponents like vultures of prey. Two flocks quickly approach, but no one shoots. A few men save ammunition, and the Italians, are they afraid? What? Why do they return? How dare you run away from an honest duel? Now Keller is angry, but this anger changes to surprise when a familiar voice is heard on the radio. Keller, you? Mario gets Gordesecco? Where are you running to, you old son of a bitch? I owe you for Lake Garda. We'll set our scores in Fiume. We do not come to attack you, Guido. We are flying with you. Tell your people not to shoot. I do not want us to set each other on fire. Keller shouts furiously over the radio, ordering to postpone the attack. It's ours hanging up. They're flying with us. Now the two flocks mixed into a colorful cluster of aircraft and no less colorful pilots. Decided to desert, Mario? I just changed the employer's way, though. The King's Oath doesn't go anywhere. Do you still accept the heaven folks there in Fiume? Keller laughed. Only with your planes, Mario. Only with your own. Well, then, we are on the right track, guys. On the burning path of the future. Exactly, Lieutenant. Eja, alala. Sure. Why not? What even is the 15th of Regno? Summer is coming with that. It's time for a new convention of Oregno. This time there will be a lot of urgent work for the Parliament. So it's just the Parliament. Okay, fair enough. We have a research slot available. Let's go for more research speed, because we're still taking a negative 10% penalty for that. We have Revolutionary Japan against Imperial Japan. Can't tell necessarily right now who is winning, but of course Japan probably has troops over in this region as well, which gives a big bonus to Revolutionary Japan. The Austrian Reich declared war on the Austrian Revolt. We don't have to really worry about that too much unless they join up with the Third International, which I think is possible. But usually Austria wins the war regardless, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. The Beijing Compromise. Fetty and clique and the Beijing government kind of signed a peace. You're still fighting my clique? How many troops do you guys each have? You have 21 to 69, 22 to 72. So it's pretty even, but one of them does have Tokyo, the other guy... They also have Osaka, so I think as soon as they take Kyoto, Imperial Japan might just... Probably not capitulate outright, but they'll be close to doing so. And unsurprisingly, the Austrian Commune was immediately annexed. But they really don't have any chance of actually winning that war, like, at all. Do we know what anybody else around us is actually doing? Unknown focus, unknown focus. I'm assuming we don't have any, like, information at all. Yeah, basically zero, so that's not helpful. You're going full speed into the world, so that's kind of justified world time going down. A very, very fast chicken. Getting Corsa Wallonia gets event to Wallonia question, which allows you, I think, to annex Wallonia in the future. Can't do any of this because we need 150 political power. I think we're gonna save our political power to use for more recruitment. But even if we don't have the guns, like we can't replace our losses. Like we're missing 122 rifles, and there's nothing I can do about that until at least apparently March of next year, when I get my very first factory. So what would I want to do? I mean, I have a very small army. Trenchment rate, soft attack. I guess let's go superior firepower for now. Like, what else? Do we have any planes or anything? No. We don't. We have absolutely nothing at all. So I guess we'll go for... I mean, what can we get? So we need some, I guess, reinforcement rates. Because it could theoretically actually do something for us. Because you give us stability +1. But we're actually already at 94% stability, so I really don't think we need that. More popularity for our party. How much popularity do we have right now? 90%, so we definitely do not need you. And even the war support, we really don't need that much of. There is now a famine in Russia. Gain 2 land forts. We remove the slump. We probably do want to remove that slump. And we'll also go for limited recruitment. After that, we can think about some of the other stuff we can do. Yeah, I just don't think we want any of those, really. Because we already have high popularity. We have 94% stability. And the war support right now is kind of fine. Like, we could do with boosting it slightly. But I'm not too concerned. You're also both accelerationists, but you know they don't like us very much. Montenegro's kind of okay with us. Soror to Albania, anti-Fiumian messaging. Apparently we're ancient enemies. I didn't even know that. Montenegro, we can be friends. We don't need to have any hostile intents against each other. Also, the Italian kingdom is looking pretty large. I'm assuming they probably took stuff from France. I don't actually remember exactly what the World War I lore is actually of. Because Germany still has like Alsace-Lorraine, but not like all of it. It's a bit of a weird situation. So, what do we want to research next? Resource gain efficiency doesn't seem like it makes any sense for us. I honestly think there's getting construction 2 to make these factories build even slightly faster. Because now you're done in February. Once we've addressed the slump, that's going to remove this 10% penalty as well. So both of those will be nice for us. Yeah, of course, we got the whole British Empire. We have to eventually fight them, I'm sure. Like, how many troops do you guys have? 11 to 51. France has 51 divisions. We have Spain with a billion little penalties, apparently. London spark market crash. Broken nation. Seems like a bad time to be Spain, to be honest. I think there's like a 5-way civil war that can happen in Spain. I'm trying to remember exactly. But you'll be done in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is fine. Yeah, because the British faction is quite large. Of course, they have territory kind of like all over the place. They even have territory in France. It its own Calais for some reason. Yes, let's address this very stinky slump. And then we'll go for the eastern border, which I'm assuming is... Yes, I guess it's actually all of this against Yugoslavia. Okay, Alexander Kolchak has been assassinated. Let's go for the eastern border. Addressing the slump. 1931 brought an incredible economic crash that destroyed with great chaos most of Europe's economies. And our city of vitality and joy was not an exception due to our profound ties to Italy. Due to this, we have been in an economic slump since those years, slowly recovering, but now we need to act quickly if we are to develop today's world, and with Zanio's health slowly waning, it means that another faction can slowly take power and place their approaches in a situation instead of D'Anzio's neutral attitude. Mariani suggests massive centrally directed labor forces, paid in food and housing. Shimoni believes in factory buy-ups and state acquisition of industry is necessary, and Keller believes that the best course of action is to ensure the local syndicates have more power in order to encourage local production, even at the expense of international trade. Let's go with people's needs come first. Either more autonomy for the syndicates, centrally directed labor force, paid in food and housing. That seems Let's go with the people need our help first. That seems like an okay choice. Okay, you have declared war here. Ivan Romanovsky is now in charge of Russia. Does their focus tree actually work now? It looks like it actually does. I remember when we played Red Flood the very, very first time, and we played Russia, and it just didn't actually work. But I think you should be looking just fine. I know we don't have any troops in basic training. We don't have any factories. You know, that makes things very difficult for us. Can you actually get construction speed? Yes. Give me that construction speed, please, and thank you. We need those factories. Or I need to steal factories from Italy. Whatever one comes first. Like, how many troops does Italy have? 7 of 45 is right now led by Italo Balbo. They are despotic. They're guaranteeing the independence of Austria. Austria is now led by Ernest Röhm, who has gone accelerationist. Which is you, I believe. Seek French protection. So yeah, you can, I think, join our faction. Unless... Yeah, no, yeah, you got pan-Germanic supremacy. So if you want to be in our alliance, Austria, I would not say no to it. Not that I have any option. I think it goes straight to France. But still. Quarta Sachot de Possy. Fiume has been a place blooming with art ever since its creation. Numerous poets, writers, and philosophers found their haven here thanks to our avant-garde approach to culture and atmosphere of extravagant self-expression. Every 4 years since 1924, these artists have had a chance to show off their skills in the grand poetry contest. After observing of various pieces by multiple writers, the clear winner is... Poem full of euphoria about reaching the stars, an avant-garde poem about motors and artillery, or a Japanese-inspired haiku based on struggles of vitality. Let's just do about motors and artillery, because blowing shit up is nice, and I want to blow up Italy, so that I can take over Venice, and also take over the rest of the country. Please and thank you. Both of those seem pretty good for us. What can Prussia do? United Communists declared war on them. They can't do anything, they don't have a focus tree. Can you join the Internationale? Maybe. We can have a non-aggression pact with you, but I don't see how that helps me out, really. So, you know, you do whatever you can, you got. That's got a pretty decent-sized army as well, I would say. So they might be able to get something done. Also, it looks like they did take over Wallonia. So good for you, France, taking over some nice territory for yourself. Yeah, we can't do this until Spain's in the Civil War. We have 2 more weeks until you're done. How many troops does Yugoslavia have? 9 to 35. Of course, we have the Internationale here as well. 9 to 22. Right now, I think Germany's in a pretty... not weakened state per se, but they're not in a very strong state. Which is nice for us. Are y'all worth... You're actually not worth these guys, even though they are puppet states. Okay, research slot. Let's go for... We already have most of the basic stuff we want. What's actually... Do you have any support equipment? You have engineers and cavalry recon. Can I upgrade any of those guys? No, because they're not ready until 1939. So, I guess we'll just go for 1936 artillery upgrade. Even though we don't have any artillery quite yet, we will at some point in the future. We want to get this done now instead of later. So, unfortunately, Poland did go Social Democrat. Ukraine is... Ukraine's also... You've also got Social Democrat, okay. But the Spanish Civil War has begun. We have CNT up here in the north. The Spanish state led by Jose San Giro, as well as the Spanish Republic. Of course, we want to back the Spanish state if we can. We can have a non-aggression pact. That seems fine. I can't send you volunteers, I think. Yeah, I don't have enough. I need 3 divisions. Quite a bit. And I guess at this point, then you could begin to intervene. Are you going to intervene? Yes, fantastic. A border with the Slovenians. The Slavians? In our glorious republic, we have had a... In our glorious republic, we have long felt a clash of violence against Slavs. Not our own Slavs, mind you. Those who are master trade of strength and vitality. Our Slavs are simply the best Slavs there are. However, on the border, beyond the Timidiv, beyond the Trieste, lie splits an ultra-nationalist regime that seeks to annex us and colonize us with their superior numbers. We now feel like we must attack first if we are to maintain our secrecy, or maintain our security over our regime, of our people, of our endless vitality, and the spiritual strength. Their rearmament worries us immensely as they begin pumping out divisions with violence unprecedented in this day and age. Therefore, various elements of Fiume have come forward to position themselves. Definitely want 2 land forts. So we have 3, 3, I'm guessing 2, 2. So we have a decent amount of forts on this border. Do I want to even send them over there, though? I don't know. But let's do the 16th meeting of the council. I would like more soldiers, but again, I have no factories, so I can't really justify making any soldiers at all. Also make like a infantry battalion that's like actual infantry. Just like a simple 20 combat with. Nothing too crazy there. And we'll just start training some of these guys. Let's say 2. Of course, we want reinforcements to be on top priority. We'll just have them just slowly train up. I think they get a... Can they get any training with just... No, they can't get any training with just no equipment. Which is fair enough. So we did get the radio. After that, honestly, going for the next level of research speed might even be the best thing for us. Just because we don't have that many things we want to research right now. Because we don't have any guns or industry. Like, when are you done? We've almost got our first military factory in November. Things have been improving substantially. Yeah, let's keep building military factories here. Yeah, no, that's just the best place for them to be. Fantastic. Okay. So with our first military factory, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to be making rifles, obviously. The Republican Party has won the American general election. That is fine. We don't have steel, which right now is a negative 10% penalty. What's more important, getting the steel or just... Getting the steel or just being able to make factories slightly faster? Because if we trade 1 steel, it's going to be removing 33% of your total factories. Which to me seems like quite a bit. You guys have also moved in and taken Catalonia. That should hopefully weaken CNT a decent amount. 322 days. Quite expensive. Is there anything else we'd want? Let's research the tank for now. Just because we're going to want it at some point. At some point, we're going to need it. Do you have any... You don't actually have a focus tree yourself. So I guess I shouldn't be too worried about what Yugoslavia is doing necessarily. Revision of militia. The Arditi owe our great forces, which we salute with a grand vital honor. You were visionaries many decades ago, being the first troops of your kind, using only light equipment and subsequently entering trenches without the fear of death. They were also said to be the most feared corps by opposing armies. The task of the Arditi units was not to clear the way for regular infantry to attack enemy lines, but to completely overrun enemy positions. The most daring volunteers were chosen, particularly those who were not bothered by loud incoming artillery fire close to them, the men who studied fencing and were masters of hand-to-hand combat. Once ready, they were sent to the front armed with light assault weapons such as carbines, pistols, daggers, and hand grenades. Many did not carry rifles or carbines because they would be cumbersome to fire in the confined space of a trench. The Arditi approached enemy trenches while they were being shelled by Italian artillery. Just as the barrage was lifted, they would jump inside the trench while the enemy was huddled down and using their daggers at close quarters to suppress enemy resistance. These primitive tactics were surprisingly effective. The Arditi stood in front of death with pride, never seen in Europe. Your motto was O la vittoria, O tutti accappati. Don't speak Italian. And it still rings true today. Fortunately, we must adapt for the future, and becoming one of and becoming once more pioneers of the world, and therefore must choose what to do. How shall we improve our great and honorable deity? They have ideas which they presented forward to us. Build their courage, authority, weapons. Probably give them better weapons, seeing as right now we don't have any weapons. Having... You're a 140-day focus tree? What's wrong with you? Why is it so goddamn long? Who's got time for that? I barely do. Okay, the Spanish state is looking like it's doing okay. CNT... How many troops do you guys have? 28 to 69. You've all basically the same. The Spanish Republic has significantly fewer troops than the rest. So they're not going to be surviving for as long as everybody else. Which I think only helps us out. And hopefully Austria is wanting to support... Wants the support of France and not the support of Britain. No, you actually cannot do this because you need at least reactionary or Austrian nationalist to seek British protection. So they have to eventually get aid from France, which would give us more allies in the war against Italy in the future. Okay, let's go for the infantry weapons now. That seems completely acceptable. And unfortunately, Uganda has been annexed, but that's not a massive surprise, I would say. And again, we have absolutely no manpower. Because you don't have enough manpower yourself. So you know what? Cancel this guy because he's not doing anything. We'll just slowly train up a single unit. You have 6 rifles out of 1,050. How long is that going to take for you to get done? About a year and a half? Lovely. 2 thumbs up. But I do think that for right now, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Anthem. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoyed, you can always thumb down. You want to subscribe, and goodbye.